Hello, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Ty. My name is Ty. This week we're making baked mac and cheese with bacon. So what we're going to need, obviously, a little bit of bacon, some macaroni. I chose to go with elbows. You can use any sort of pasta that you want to. Shells, bow ties, anything you want. I got 2 pounds of cheese. I got a pound of cheddar and a pound of Colby and Monterey Jack. Need 2 cups of cream, 2 cups of milk, some flour, some Cheez-Its, and we're gonna need our cheese grater because this works out a lot better if you shred the cheese yourself instead of buying it pre-shredded from the store. So our first step is gonna be to slice up our bacon. This doesn't slice that well. Maybe it's easier to slice it once it's cooked. I don't know. I don't usually slice up the bacon. I usually just eat it whole. There we go. So I'm just slicing the bacon up into little bits. This is going to get mixed in with the mac and cheese. You don't want your chunks to be much bigger than this. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get our frying pan heated up, get the bacon cooking, and I've got a pot of water on the stove. Getting ready to boil to cook the pasta. We're going to go ahead and get our pasta into the pan. Now bear in mind you don't want to fully cook the pasta because this is going to go into the oven afterwards, so it's going to continue cooking in the oven. Speaking of which, we'll preheat that to 350. And we'll go ahead and let our pasta get back up to a boil. Wait for our pan to heat up and we'll get the bacon cooking. Alright, so our pan's good and hot. We're going to go ahead and get the bacon in here. Get that cooked up. You don't want it to be too crispy, but you also don't want it to be too soft. As you can see, our pasta's back up to a boil now. We'll let that sit for a little bit and we'll move it around again. While the bacon's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and shred my cheese. So I got 1 piece of the Colby Monterey Jack and 1 piece of cheddar. And then we'll save the other 2 pieces for after. And we're going to take our pasta off the stove and drain it now. So I got a little more bacon on the stove because I didn't realize how little it was going to get. We're going to work on making our cheese sauce while that's cooking. So we're going to use a full stick of butter. And we're going to let the butter fully melt. You want to let it cook for a little bit before you add in the flour because butter has a lot of water in it and the flour will clump with all the water. So to reduce flour clumping, let the butter fully cook first. So we're going to go ahead and mix our flour in with our butter now. I want to make sure that the amount of flour clumps in there is absolutely minimal, if any at all. So I'm only going to do it a couple tablespoons at a time. Whisk it in, do a couple more tablespoons, whisk it in. the idea is you're doing equal parts of flour and butter. So I used 1 stick of butter, which is 8 tablespoons. We're gonna use 8 tablespoons of flour. All right, so now we're gonna mix in our cream and our milk. So it's 2 cups of cream and then 2 cups of milk. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix in the cream first. And just whisk it all around. Okay, so go ahead and mix in 2 cups of milk. And we'll whisk it all around again. And we're gonna let it warm up a little bit. You want the liquid to reduce a little bit. And then we mix in the cheese. All right, so our roux has started to thicken up a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and add in the cheese. And just let that melt together. And you're just going to keep mixing until it's one gooey, cheesy, delicious mixture. Now we're going to go ahead and add our pasta right in here. Just mix that all around. Obviously, you want to get all of the sauce on all of the pasta. Everybody's making friends in the pan. I really want to try some right now, but I gotta wait. That looks gooey and delicious. All right, so we've got the pasta mixed in with the cheese sauce. We're gonna remove that from the heat for a minute. That's just gonna sit. We're gonna go prepare our topping and shred some more cheese. So for our topping, we're gonna crush up some Cheez-Its. So I've just put them into a sandwich bag and you just crunch them up. Some people like to use buttered breadcrumbs for this. Other people might use a different type of cracker, whether it be a Ritz cracker or something else. It's really your preference. Really, you don't have to put a topping on it at all. You could just top it with cheese, and then you'll get that good, crusty cheese top on it. That looks broken up enough. So go ahead and set that aside. All right, so go ahead and shred some cheddar. I don't think I'm going to use the whole stick this time. My mother had a machine that did this, and I would really love to have one of those right now. Things that go underestimated until you don't have them. Alright, so we got pretty equal parts of cheddar and jack here. I'm just going to kind of intermingle them. So I've got a 13 by 9 baking dish. We're going to go ahead and get the mac and cheese into here. So we're going to try to pour in about half of it. Spread that out. Add in our bacon. Now we're gonna do a layer of cheese. It doesn't really matter how much, just enough to cover this first layer. Should be good. Now we'll get the rest of the mac in there. And now comes the Cheez-Its. It ain't easy being cheesy. Are all my jokes too cheesy for you? Say cheese. Alright, we've got our Cheez-It topping on. We're going to go ahead and pop this into the oven. 20 minutes at 350. Alright, we've had our 20 minutes. Now it's time to take this out and see how it came out. That looks really good.
Are we keeping on?
Look at that gooey goodness. Now that is good. And the bacon's a nice touch too. Definitely recommend you try and make this if you guys want to. So as always, thank you for tuning in to Cooking with Ty. I really appreciate it. check out a link in the description for my Patreon page. If you subscribe, you could have your name on the screen over here like this. It's pretty cool. Support the show. Also, I'm very excited to announce we have Cooking with Ty merch now. These shirts are going to be on sale on my Patreon for $20. If you'd like to buy one and support the show. Also, check out another link in the description to SK Custom Apparel. That's where the shirts came from. My buddy Seth owns it. I like to support local businesses, so that's where I'm getting my merch from. You too could have a Cooking with Ty shirt. If you subscribe to the Patreon, they're going to be going on there soon. Yeah, this was really good. I recommend you try making this. And it's a recipe that leaves you room to make variations to it. I kind of found one online and tweaked it to my own liking, and it came out great. I really liked it. So, stay tuned.